An escaped inmate from a Clayton County hospital early this morning is back in police custody. And that's exactly where we begin on this Saturday evening. Thanks so much for joining us for Fox 5 News at 6. I'm Eric Perry. Now the question now is, how did he escape in the first place? Fox 5's Alexa Liaco is live from the Clayton County Jail with the details. Alexa.
Eric, still a lot of questions left to be answered by police at this hour, but they did let us know just after 6:30 this morning that an inmate named James DeMonte Beasley was able to escape from custody. He was receiving some sort of medical treatment at the Southern Regional Medical Center. Police say that Beasley somehow was able to get out of his handcuffs and shackles inside that hospital and then took off, fleeing for miles. He was unable, officers were unable to catch up with him for about 6 hours. Police did say they were searching several MARTA stations and released these photos of Beasley, saying that he changed clothes into jeans and a blue t-shirt. Unclear, though, where he got those civilian clothes. Police were able to catch up with him at the East Point MARTA station. They say he carjacked somebody for a black Ford F-150 and then fled the scene. Police then chased him, and then he crashed the stolen truck and was promptly taken into custody around 12:30 this afternoon. We did get a statement from the Clayton County Sheriff's Office reading in part, an internal investigation into the escape and related policy violations is currently underway in conjunction with a pending disciplinary hearing for the involved officer. We are working with Clayton County Police at this hour, the Clayton County Sheriffs rather, to get more information about that involved officer and if they potentially aided Beasley in his escape, and the additional charges that Beasley will now be facing. We'll have that tonight at Fox 5 News at 10 and 11. For now, live in Clayton County, Alexa Liaco, Fox 5 News.
All right, Alexa, I'm glad that they were able to capture him. Thanks so much.
The man who spent 3 decades in prison is free this afternoon. Hello and welcome to Fox 5 News at 4. I'm Christine Spiro. David Scott was stuck in legal limbo for days after a Clayton County Superior Judge ordered his release. State corrections officials wouldn't release him because they said they didn't have his paperwork. But Scott walked out of Hancock State Prison Wednesday after Fox 5 aired his story. Fox 5's Deidre Dukes is live at the Clayton County Courthouse tonight, where Scott was joined by his supporters today. Deidre.
That's right, Christine, and Scott telling us this afternoon that after spending 3 decades behind bars, he admitted his wrongdoing. He worked to better himself and leaves prison a changed man. David Scott greeted by supporters outside the Clayton County Courthouse Friday. Scott now a free man after spending nearly 3 decades behind bars.
It feels great, 29 years is a long time.
He was arrested in 1996 for robbing a woman at knife point. A month later, he killed an inmate who attacked him in the Clayton County Jail. He eventually pled guilty to the lesser charge of involuntary manslaughter. After a 3-year fight on his behalf, his attorney and activists successfully convinced the court that the sentence didn't fit the crime.
We get cases all the time, nationwide, and I've never looked at a case where the whole entire team said, we need to help this guy get home.
A Clayton County Superior Court judge resentenced the 49-year-old Friday, giving him credit for time served and ordered his release.
I'm thankful for the support team and everybody who came out to show support and advocate for me.
But Scott remained behind bars, stuck in legal limbo. The Georgia Department of Corrections said they couldn't free Scott because they hadn't received release paperwork. Scott finally walked out of Hancock State Prison on Wednesday. Prison officials released him just hours after our story aired about his case. Scott says he's matured and worked to better himself these past years and is now a changed man.
Start fresh, it's a new day. I'm not angry, I'm not bitter. I just get to move forward with life.
There we go.
Now, Scott tells me he is still weighing his next steps, but that he looks forward to spending time with his mother and other family members, and says he plans to use his own experience to help others. In Clayton County, Deidre Dukes, Fox 5 News.
All right.
Two murder suspects from Memphis were arrested at a home in Marietta.
Now, 2 more people were arrested when police say the home was filled with drugs. Fox 5's Denise Dillon is live in Marietta. Denise, you went to that neighborhood where they were found.
I did, and I talked to some of the people who live in that neighborhood. They said that they saw police surround the house and the SWAT team pull up.
Yeah, I look outside, I see there's a bunch of SWAT team everywhere, lots of cops. I saw the dogs, I saw the guns. They were just like screaming out, "We have a warrant."
And then we heard the big boom where they hit the door.
Marietta police got word that a man wanted for murder in Memphis could be hiding in Marietta. An investigation by Marietta's Crime Interdiction Unit and the FBI Safe Streets Gang Task Force led them to this home on Crest Ridge Drive late Wednesday night. Inside, they found not one, but 2 murder suspects, Martavius Jenkins and LaCameron Jenkins. Both are wanted for a shooting in Memphis April 22nd that killed 2 people. And that's not all they found inside this home.
While we're searching the residence, there's narcotics in plain sight.
Investigators say in the living room there were pills, mushrooms, THC candy, and pounds of marijuana separated and packaged in clear plastic bags, along with scales and more than $4,500 in cash. 2 women who were in the house, 25-year-old Maria Jenkins and 19-year-old Jade Brown, were arrested on drug charges.
It still remains a mystery why they picked here.
Police say the house is used as a short-term rental.
They had been there 4 days. They were quiet, never saw them.
Neighbors say it was a lot of activity for a quiet street in Marietta.
This end of the street's the boring end of the street. We don't have parties. I'm glad they got rid of them. We don't need people that kill people and drugs.
All 4 people arrested are now in the Cobb County Jail. The 2 men will soon be going back to Memphis to face those murder charges. Reporting live in Marietta, Denise Dillon, Fox 5 News.
Yeah, Denise, glad they got them out of that quiet neighborhood. Thanks so much.
Hearts are heavy tonight at Clark Atlanta University. One of their graduates, who had gone on to become a college dean of a college in California, was shot to death on the campus of Spartan College in Inglewood, California.
Dr. Kamisha Clark received 3 degrees, including her doctorate from Clark Atlanta University. That's where Fox 5's Angelique Proctor joins us now with the story all new at 5. Angelique?
Good afternoon to you both. So many people who knew and loved Dr. Kamisha Clark are just devastated tonight. They say clearly she was a rising star who is just gone too soon. The Clark Atlanta University School of Education just spotlighted Dr. Kamisha Clark on her accomplished career in March. This is their Instagram post about the 3-time alumnus who earned her undergraduate, master's, and educational doctorate degree from CAU and was recently promoted to the Dean of Student Affairs at Spartan College of Aeronautics and Technology in Inglewood, California. On Friday, everything changed in an instant when police say former Spartan security guard Jesse Fiegro returned to the college in a security clothes and opened fire on Dr. Clark and her assistant in what police call a targeted execution-style shooting.
I came under the lot. We were told that there was an active shooter next door and to get into safety in the shop over here.
Officers say the suspect drove off, but they found him several hours later and took him into custody.
Give great kudos to the Inglewood Police Department, our investigators, and the LAPD officers that were vigilant, took the vehicle description and took him into custody.
After 3 days of fighting, Dr. Clark succumbed to her injuries Monday. The second victim is still being treated. Those who knew her described Dr. Clark as a shining star who was driven but also had a sweet spirit. Friends also say Dr. Clark was a strong advocate against gun violence and had started a foundation here in Atlanta to fight the use of firearms called C².
This was not a random act of violence. The suspect and victims knew each other.
And again, the way they knew each other is that they all worked there at the college. I should also mention that Dr. Clark was a member of the Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority, and she was the granddaughter of Dr. Betty Clark, who was on the faculty for many years here at Clark Atlanta, as well as retired interim provost and vice president of academic affairs. We are live from the campus of Clark Atlanta University. Angelique Proctor.
What a devastating loss, and just so sad. Angelique, thanks.
Well, developing tonight, we're hearing from the family of a North Georgia college student who's in ICE custody.
The 19-year-old who attends Dalton State was born in Mexico and came here illegally when she was 4. Immigration officers took her into custody after a traffic stop.
Yeah, she now faces deportation tonight. Her family and friends of her community, they're demanding her release. Fox 5's Rob DiRienzo was at a rally this evening on Beaufort Highway.
Well, despite these protests, U.S. immigration officials tell Fox they have no plans of releasing the 19-year-old Dalton State College student. Her mother and sister tell me right now they are desperate.
Sometimes I'm sad and I cry because I can't believe my sister's in jail. And then I'm angry because how could somebody do that to a 19-year-old college student?
Dalton State College student Jimena Aria Cristobal is at the Stewart Detention Center facing deportation after a traffic stop.
Right now she is on hold with ICE.
Her 12-year-old sister Aurora says police stopped her for making a right on red.
He said that she had passed the red light, so he stopped her and asked her for her license.
Jimena had an international driver's license, which the officer didn't accept, and arrested her for driving without a license, along with the traffic violation. At the Whitfield County Jail, guards learned she was in the country illegally and notified ICE.
Everybody loves this child, and everybody recognizes that this is so blatantly wrong.
The teen was Hannah Jones' babysitter for years. She says Jimena came to the country when she was just 4 years old. Her mother, translated through Aurora, is crushed right now.
She said that she's really sad what's happening to her daughter right now.
Records show Jimena's father, Jose Francisco Arias Tovar, is in the same detention center as her.
ICE at our communities now!
ICE at our communities now! On Friday evening, activists rallied in Atlanta demanding the father and daughter's release.
Many people see her as a friend or as a girl that goes to college, but for me, she's an example. She's my older sister, and I want to follow into her footsteps.
And one Republican state lawmaker has publicly called for Jimena's release. Meanwhile, a DHS spokesperson says they can't ignore the rule of law, and the entire family is welcome to return to Mexico together. In Atlanta, Rob DiRienzo, Fox 5 News.
A Tufts University student being detained at a Louisiana immigration center for more than 6 weeks has been released. Rameza Ozturk, a Turkish native, was detained in late March. It came 1 year after she co-wrote a campus newspaper editorial that blasted the university's stance on the war in Gaza. Ozturk has spent the last month and a half at that Louisiana detention center and has not been charged with a crime. However, the Trump administration alleges she took part in pro-Hamas activities, although no evidence has been presented.